Hello and welcome back to a brand new video. We got something a bit different again, as late last year I spent a lot of time in Nimbin, which for those of you who don't know has been crowned the weed capital of Australia for the last few decades really. Now it all started in 1973 when the fourth and final Aquarius Festival was held in Nimbin.
They had that, Aquarius Festival in 1973 when Nimbin got settled by all the uni students. I was just discovering weed in Nepal that year.
Now these festivals were basically to celebrate alternative thinking and sustainable lifestyles, and were basically just a gathering of, for lack of a better word, hippies. Approximately 5,000 to 10,000 people were in Nimbin for this 10-day event, and it is also accredited as being the first event which sought permission from the traditional owners of the land, the Bundjalung people.
So they go to Yalanji, Cookie Yalanji lands, rainforest people from far north Queensland, Mossman, as well as Mornington Island.
And actually included a welcome to country, truly one of a kind at the time.
Something happened which was radical and new. There's a lovely coming together, both of the white tribe and black tribes.
Now today Nimbin is still a home to a lot of these people. Some more live only, a few minutes down the road. In Nimbin the days start early. There are people up from the crack of dawn, even before then. The Nimbin bakery starts to fill up and the streets come alive.
Hello.
How you going?
One cake, plate sharing.
Oh wow. Damn, that sounds really good.
It's vegan.
Okay,
as well. So
damn.
it's really good.
And the vibes are overall very positive. And, the nights are nice too. By that point, you're probably high as fuck and you're just walking through the streets, looking at the beautiful scenery, looking at all sorts of different nature in the Northern Rivers area. You might find yourself at the Nimbin Rocks. You might go eat some local pizza, which I would recommend, or the Japanese. Shout out Rod. You might even see the Hare Krishnas chanting out the front of the vegetarian restaurant, which was pretty cool. There is also apparently a big heroin scene in Nimbin, but most of the people are pretty chill and they're only really doing these drugs to self-medicate at the end of the day. And what would you say to someone that wants to visit but is sort of second guessing it, thinking the town might be just full of junkies or it's not really for them?
Yeah, well, probably isn't really for them.
It's not a junkie town at all. It's always had a small heroin scene. They don't trouble anyone. It's always had a little meth scene.
Sure.
They can trouble someone in the middle of the night, but not much.
Yeah.
They keep to themselves.
Yeah.
We're probably the only rural town I know where we've got a bit of a handle on the ice epidemic. There's a community feel, and we're all drug users. We all know what drugs are, and we all know good drugs from dangerous drugs. And I think that ice can be a pretty dangerous drug, and the community realises that, and we tend to work together a bit on it. So there is ice here in town, of course there is. There is in every rural town, but it doesn't dominate the place.
Mostly it's a pot town, and it's a peaceful drug, and hurt, traumatised people, which Nimbin is full of, are much better off smoking weed than going to the pub, in my opinion, or using any other drugs.
But I will say, as a tourist, it's very easy to get sucked in to all the cool shops, like the Funky Corner, or the Hemp Embassy, Mad Hattery, Hemping Around, just to name a few. You'll see lots of cool handmade items, a lot made from hemp, and lots of different smoking utensils. But really, in my opinion, the best of times you'll have are just getting to know the people, talking to a local, maybe spark up a joint, find yourself some edibles or some mushies, and just have a good time. So yeah, who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Wally. I'm Ryan. Yeah, I come from Sydney, but I moved up here with my wife about 15 years ago.
My name's Morrigan. I grew up in the Nimbin area. I grew up at Tunnable Falls.
Michael Balderstone, so I'm here because you asked me to be.
Okay, my name is Gerald Taylor. I've lived here for bit over 40 years now, and I do hemp. I do everything hemp. That's my schmeal.
How you going? I'm Rod Gnarly, actually. I'm local in Nimbin. I have a lot to do with everyone and everything around here.
And I'm here visiting my friends and family for a couple of days.
So I'm president of the Hemp Embassy here and legalised cannabis, the political party. So been passionate about changing the cannabis laws for a long time, but the whole drug war really.
I like the village, the people when I first visited. People seemed friendly and I thought I must have another look and probably come back. That was over 40 years ago now. I moved here just under 40 years ago now.
I've made fabric from it. I made building materials from it. At the moment I'm making cosmetic and medicinal use, actually therapeutic use. Now, although that's against the law as it stands, it's my duty to do it. So I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
I've just met this wonderful character, Ryan, and he's up from Melbourne, and he's come and visited our beautiful town, and I think he's had a good time. What do you reckon,
That's
Ryan?
it. Yeah, I've had a great time.
Yeah,
It's been good to like get to know everyone, including yourself.
Yeah,
Good character.
And I believe you partook in a few mushrooms yesterday, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the nimbin street food, if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah, street food at this time of year, mate. Yeah. Would you like some?
Yeah. Damn.
You know, it's
holy
that
shit.
time of year. It's called mushroom season, people.
Yeah, thank you.
We live a pretty casual life around here.
Yeah, we've been here for a while, and what we've given out seems to have been reciprocated, and vice versa.
That's awesome.
We're making life better for an awful lot of people and teaching an awful lot of people how to make life better for themselves.
I was also lucky enough to be there for their markets, which I believe happen on the 4th and 5th Sundays of every month. The markets are incredible, the streets just transform basically overnight. And it's just this beautiful market. There's fresh juice, live music, lots of cool like handmade items, fresh juice, palm reading, meditation, you name it. The entire town basically has everything on one street. I guess 1.5. Because of this, it's kind of easy to feel like a bit of an outsider at the start. I think it was pretty apparent that everyone really knew each other and probably had for decades. I think I was clearly the odd one out. Thankfully, this didn't last very long though, and it wasn't long before I felt quite safe and welcomed. I obviously met with some folk, as you would have seen in these clips, and have conducted some interviews about life in Nimbin and what it's really like. Tell me one good thing and one bad thing about being in Nimbin.
Okay. All right.
Good thing is the community, getting to know people. Over the time I've been here, it's a slow process, but I feel more at home and feel welcomed, and when you get to that sort of stage, it feels good. It really does, and I feel after 15 years that I feel part of. Does that make sense?
Cool, yeah.
I could reel off a heap of good things. I was only just talking a moment ago about the fact that we've got a radio station. There's not too many villages would have a radio station.
Positive, so many positives, really. It's a unique little place.
What I loved about living in Nimbin is the slower paced lifestyle and access to like the hills and the waterfalls and all the beautiful scenery around here.
But also hospital. We've still got a little hospital here, which compared to a lot of other villages or smaller places, they don't have them anymore. We do.
One positive, it's free love, and one negative, police like to harass us at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, right.
The one thing I didn't like about living in Nimbin is that it's quite isolated, so it's hard to make money and it's hard to access like products and stuff. But
Sure,
yeah,
okay.
it's all right. We can post stuff through Amazon now. It's fine.
We've got a lot of positives around here. So many that it's hard to think of negatives, virtually.
As you talk to these people, you start to realize, we're not all that different, really. Now, you might be asking, if cannabis is illegal in Australia, why is it seemingly so accepted in Nimbin? I know I was definitely asking this. I basically went to the police station to try and find out. I really wanted to interview a copper and see what it's like being a police officer in Nimbin, where it's so socially acceptable to smoke cannabis. And they basically suggested that I contact the New South Wales Police Media Unit. Sent them an email asking if there was someone that I could interview for a documentary, to which they responded, "You need to redirect your inquiry to the politicians. Police don't make the laws, we enforce them. Laws are made by Parliament. Regards, Donna Bruce, Sergeant." And while she's probably not wrong, it wasn't really quite what I was asking about. So I, of course, tried to clarify this situation by sending another email. Unfortunately, I did not get any further comments. I did, however, of course, ask some locals their opinions on why they thought the local police were so chill.
So the policing of Nimbin's really changed the last few years since legal weed came on the market.
Yeah.
Because heaps of people have got legal weed. You know, they've got their tin of legal weed. It's confusing for the police. The police respect it. I find the police on the ground really support cannabis, really. They know we're not going to make trouble.
Yeah.
It's totally different to people on ice. It's infuriating that the police press releases just call it drugs. They don't say cannabis or meth, drugs. So we're all in this bloody package together.
So the police made their laws, we broke their laws. The police busted us, we ignored them. They busted us again, we kept ignoring them and kept on with our lives. Did a bit of jail time, did a bit of lie down time, did a lot of fines, did this and that, but at the end of the day, the cops have pretty much backed off.
I wanted to know why the police were so thin on the ground, and I had one of the officers say to me, "Well, you locals will just blow smoke in our face and then complain to a superior, and that's their career down the drain, mate, because they're passive smoking."
And the cops are decent, you know, they're prepared to look the other way.
Yeah, right.
They don't want to buy into this bullshit anymore. I think they're over it.
The police never support any drug law change, I see. They're all about the power and the jobs, I guess. It's half their work is drug war.
Yeah, right.
And they're really working for Big Pharma. I don't think they've realised that.
So in Nimbin here, we're supposed to have 9 police, but we've got 2 police, and that means we've actually got 1 policeman because one's always on stress leave. So basically we're non-police these days, and it's awesome. We're doing just fine, and I think the cops are pretty happy with the situation, to be honest.
And they like harassing our tourists, just to, you know, because they don't like us having a good time and showing people a good time. Simple as that. So, yeah.
They locked Nimbin down for 3 months at one stage. It was called Operation, there's some kind of police operation where they had the roads blocked. Everybody coming into and leaving town was checked by the cops. 3 months later, they had to piss off because they ran out of time. They pissed off and nothing had changed. Absolutely nothing had changed. They'd achieved nothing but making themselves look stupid. And life goes on here. You know, cool. We move on. You make your silly laws, we'll break your silly laws. Go right ahead.
But yeah, that pretty much is it. In conclusion, I guess, I would actually highly recommend anyone come to Nimbin. If you want to do some touristy shit, you know, see the rocks, the sides, maybe hit some of the shops, go to the cafe, then, you know, come for a day or two. But if you want an unforgettable, potentially life-changing experience, then I would definitely recommend staying for at least a week, if not more, and just try and talk to the people. I met some of the nicest people I've probably ever met in my life in Nimbin. I heard some fantastic stories, and I personally can't wait to be back. Where's the best spot you've ever smoked out?
Ah, okay.
That's a really hard one.
The most interesting place I ever smoked was in the middle of the night, it was a pitch black night, and it was in Afghanistan in a place called Bamiyan, and they had these giant statues of Buddha that sort of cut into the hillside, into caves. And I got blitzed there one night with a friend. And we got up there and we smoked some really good Afghani hashish. And Afghan hashish, and it was just phenomenal stuff. And there we were sitting with the Buddhas. It was before the Taliban blew them up. There we were, just sitting with the Buddhas and talking shit. It was so good. It was so good.
A couple of outdoor concerts in Adelaide where you could smoke there. You couldn't at indoor concerts, but occasionally there was one place at Memorial Drive in Adelaide where if the wind dropped, people that weren't smoking would get stoned as well. The smoke would just hang over everybody.
Yeah, right.
And that was probably good in the sense that it was nice being high at good concerts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Rolling Stones was a bit like that, even. I'm pretty sure Midnight Oil, the last concert I went to there, was a bit like that as well.
Yeah, cool.
There was no wind and and the smoke cloud hang over the crowd. It was really quite pleasant, I thought, anyway.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then people start discovering Nimbin and its fantastic community.
Yeah, yeah.
Tight community. A lot because we're all criminals, I reckon. Pulls you together.
Yeah.
But we've got the same values, which is back to the earth and earth first, and it's fucked. Let's try and live a different truth, helping each other rather than competing with each other, living with the earth rather than against her.
Yeah, sure.
All that stuff. So, were the hippies right? They're pretty much the values and the visions, drug-induced as it was all right. We're headed in the wrong direction, we're trashing the place, we're making wars, we're not on a path to happiness and peace, really.
Yeah.
One of the things, I want to go travelling and take some grandkids around Australia a little bit, but I'm not going to be able to do what I do here, which is have a pipe after I've had something to eat or something to drink. I probably will occasionally, but it won't be as openly as I do here.
If you smoke pot, find somewhere nice to smoke a joint and, talk to the locals. That's the way to go if you come to Nimbin.
Yeah, it's a nice little place, I thought, and I still think it's that way.
Yeah, cool. With that being said, it now does bring us to the end of the video. If you did like it, please like it down below and subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to hit milestones every day, so get the subs up, please. Let's get it. Now, I do have one more video coming soon with the rest of these Nimbin interviews, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I will also say, it has been a year since I uploaded my first video, I think, if not tomorrow, but yeah, thank you all very much for watching for the past year. If you're new, stay tuned, big shit coming. So yeah, would you personally come to Nimbin? Please let me know down below. Have you already been here? Please let me know what your experience was like. I would love to hear about that. But I'll see you all in the next video. I'm gonna fuck off now. So yeah, see you next week. Peace and love.